Miraculous is a show that has a lot going for it. It has decent writing, really interesting written characters, dynamic character growth over several seasons, and a well-balanced plot of the Monster of the Week format, and one of the main character's father trying to bring back his dead wife. Well, now you have my attention. This is compounded by the fact that the main characters have this weird love diamond going on that keeps people engaged, given how it's paced within the story. Most of the episodes are rather samey and don't leave too much in the audience because of the simple formula. Marinette fucks something up, or Chloe is a bitch, someone gets mad and possessed by an evil butterfly, the two leads transform and go off to fight the baddie, have some banter, and save the day. The fun is how the A and B plots of the given episode intersect. Not the most interesting thing, but it makes way for the interpersonal relations to be the focus, which is what television is best at. Then there are episodes like Chat Blanc, which tease, bait, and fuck over the audience with the main ship of the show for no reason other than ratings, so that the creator can perpetuate the lie that the relationship only works at the end of the story, or because it's a show that's aimed at girls, they can like boys but not date them because then they're defined by them. Oh hey Kim Possible, fancy seeing you here! So join me as we look over every reason this episode is a steaming pile of failure. I think the best way to start this is to work backwards from the relationship the show has set up and then never developed beyond pining for the past 3 seasons at the point of this episode's debut. The show does the stupid early 2000s thing where the two main characters are totally going to be the main thing, but then don't pull the trigger on it because writing pining characters, or the chemistry, is all they know or think will work. From the first episode, both the pilot and the actual canonical Origins episode, Marinette has a rather obsessive crush on a guy in her class called Adrian. Cat Noir, since the pilot, and again, both kind of pilots, has had a thing for Ladybug. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to figure out the obvious twist. They're in love with one aspect of the person, but not the other. Oh hey Lois Lane in the Batman-Superman movie, how the fuck are you doing? This will come up later, I promise you, just stay with me. For now, it adds the stupid plot point that has them obviously be flirting with each other, but not actually doing anything about it because plot and dragging out the reveal and subsequent dating portion, which would be more interesting than this, all because it makes fans gush. Now, for a season or a season and a half, this would be a fine idea. A little flirt here, a little tease there, and then just jumpstarting the relationship. Good, fine, perfectly okay to way to pace your story. However, when you're doing it for 3, now 4 seasons, and have written out the rule of keeping your identities a secret, why would you not at least progress one of these relationships beyond the high noon of the Eiffel Tower stare down that we currently have? Either Cat Noir and Ladybug because they have no other options to work with, and she clearly warms up to him over time and trusts him implicitly no matter what, which I think is a solid foundation for any relationship, or Adrian and Marinette, who have grown so close at this point that if they actually dated, most people wouldn't cheer, they'd be like, oh wait, you finally did that? Neat. Halting the story for pointless teasing and making everyone wait for the next step, or really the only step left at this point, is infuriating. Thomas Astruc, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, the lead writer and creator of the show, gives me massive Rebecca Sugar vibes, minus the whole accidental Nazi sympathizing thing. No, what aspect he resembles the most is the executive producer who wants to just tell the story he wants to tell and fuck everyone else, despite the fact this isn't DeviantArt or Wattpad or even YouTube. You don't get to make a show that grabs a fan base of so many demographics and then tell all of them continuously and collectively to continuously fuck off on this stuff. For example, he writes Chloe with some degree of depth and makes it out to be like she's going to have a redemption arc, but keeps fucking up and he calls her an evil person. She's not. She's 16 and needs to be put in her place, which most of the cast does anyway, and when she does get put in said place, she feels remorse and you see her actively feel bad and knows that she fucked up. It's not like she's a complete monster. Okay, well season 1, but season 2 and 3 has moments of her being an actually great person, and while she is a bit snobby in the worst of times, you can see the positive influence letting her use the Be Miraculous has had on her. She's the first person to shake off an Akuma, for God's sake. She shows the bad guy no and actively wins the mental struggle. Luca, the chillest dude in the world, can't even do that. Think about that for a second. This same narrow-mindedness shows up in the romance plot, and I call it a plot, not a subplot, because it's the entire central conflict of 90% of the episodes when they aren't being superheroes. Speaking of which, I should probably explain that before I continue. In this show, the main leads and the villain get their powers from animal-themed jewels called Miraculous. Marinette gets the ladybug earrings, Adrian gets the cat ring, Gabriel, Adrian's father, gets the butterfly pin and the peacock brooch. While other people get to use specific ones sporadically, like Chloe with the bee, these are not permanent owners. Only the big 3 get to keep theirs. So yes, when they're not playing superheroes, the two main leads are in this weird will they won't they flirt off, and it's boring. Like, Holy shit, is this just so boring to watch. Thomas is working under the assumption that holding off on the relationship till either season 5 or the end of the show is going to make it better. It's not. Nearly every fan I've heard from expresses some disdain for the pacing of it because it's been written the same way for 3 seasons, and it's not cute or fun anymore. You keep writing Marinette in these increasingly gross scenarios that make her look like a stalker, but because it's for kids and animated and for comedy, it's okay. One joke of her knowing his schedule offhand is funny. Having a flow chart that pins him down at every minute of every day is creepy. Having her making him gifts for his next 50 birthdays is creepy. Having her sniff what she thinks is a statue of him and go for the kiss to then make him apologize for her pulling a harmless prank is not only creepy, but it's also gaslighting and paints a very strange picture for you. Either you do it or you don't, but doing this in between shit is getting way out of hand. So, about that episode this video is named after. Chat Blanc is a story about Adrian finding out who Ladybug is through finally having more than one brain cell firing off in that dumb head of his. He goes to find her and they immediately start dating for what feels like a few months. They have a great time, they go to premieres, and are deliriously happy. Then Gabriel finds out who Cat Noir is, which leads to him akumatizing Adrian, that then leads to him blowing up the moon. That escalated quickly. To be fair, the emotional reason for him to freak out makes sense, since he's basically being asked to choose between his parents and his girlfriend, so I get that. But this whole thing that I just explained, that gets us to the crux of the essential conflict, is less than 5 minutes of the actual runtime and is only shown to us in a montage through the lens of Bunnix, a time-traveling Miraculous user from like 10 years in the future. The rest of the episode is killing time trying to figure out where the Akuma is, and Adrian is saying vague platitudes of, "You caused this, I can fix this though after I kill you again." So this entire episode is confusing from start to end. The fucked up thing is that this could have been really interesting if they had made it a 2-parter. If the montage we see from Bunnix's point of view was part 1 of this, and the actual episode was part 2, then I would have no issues because we would have seen it all happen organically, and we would get to see his descent into madness from the fact that he's been stuck in Paris for what must be days alone trying to cope with the isolation, and the fact he kamikazed not only the moon, but the 2 people he loves the most. But dealing with both plots in one episode not only pisses me off because it ruins the reveal, and the fucks I give about the relationship, not just in this episode, but also in general. When it comes to romance, it takes time, I won't deny that. Unless you just write them already having been married, then that's a perfectly good starting place as well. But when you jump the gun so much in a montage for a self-contained episode, then it ceases to matter. First of all, the conclusion the episode comes to is fucking wrong, and you all know it. Bunnix is the only one in universe that gets to see the events play out in any way. Marinette only sees the conclusion and doesn't get to see any details that would help make an informed decision or resolve the conflict any faster. I get timelines and all that rigmarole bullshit, but when you write in time travel that can fix problems and you make a conflict that can be avoided by giving the person whose life it actually affects the information to make the proper decision, then you have fucked up on multiple levels. The easiest way to fix this is just tell Marinette the answer, or letting her see it and make the choice to go back and erase it anyway. All she knows for an absolute fact is that Cat Noir knows who she is, and that's it. She doesn't know the other 99% of the important details of this event. If she got to know who he is and what caused this, she could go back and erase all of this, and the past Marinette that doesn't have any memory of this, being the one that sticks around, is A, better character work because she gave up the one thing she's wanted all show, and B, excellent storytelling because it allows her to make a great choice that saves the world and keeps the status quo without being stupid as fuck. Having Bunnix see all of this as time travel ex machina is just not a good writing choice because it takes away from the real main character and her agency in her own life. If I were the writer of this episode, I would have done the unifying thing and made Lady Time, or Time Bug, doesn't matter, where she gets to see the time stream and see what will lead up to this and what the problem is, trying different methods to get things back on track that keep failing all because the big 3 know who each other are. You could even have adult Alex chilling in the burrow waiting for her to come to the right conclusion, while doing random funny shit by pulling things from time portals, like a paddle ball or chess or skip it, I don't know. Just something funny while she waits to get the watch back. I could keep listing other reasons why this episode doesn't work as is, but the main one, the big, gaping, decimated moon-sized problem, is that it comes to the right answer in too little of a time span to care about and in the wrong way. The little moments we see of them dating are cute, but they're snapshots in a montage giving us backstory on a plot we are in the middle of because the creator wanted to pull the gotcha card and rip it out from under us, that we're not gonna see them be a thing for a long time, because if they did, then the universe would implode. Apparently. Which, by the way, thanks for insulting our intelligence, man. Instead of that being the end result, you know, the worst case scenario, instead of that being the end case, you know, the worst possible ending, you could have made it be an akumatized world where they're happy together, but the world is still in danger, or they can't take the double life thing and break up, or something that causes the Chat Blanc thing to happen, but not create a World War Z level of decimation. You took the easiest, laziest path of least resistance to basically tell your fans no, because you don't think romance is fun to write, even though you keep writing the side characters to be in happy, healthy, functional relationships, but because the main character is a girl, you can't have her get with anyone because that's not feminist enough. To be a feminist in this man's mind, women must be single, strong people to be symbols for little girls, but can also be boy crazy obsessed stalkers and low-key kind of a bitch to anyone she doesn't like, but you know, dating is bad. Oh wait, no it isn't. Thomas, if I could speak to you directly, stop pulling this double standard just because you don't want to do it. It's not hurting anyone if you do pull the trigger, and the only one who's going to get upset if you do get them together now is going to be you. And considering the money you're pulling in from this, and the amount of money you would pull in if you did the Kim and Ron thing, I think you'll live just fine. It's okay to write romance on screen, and if you feel like you're not equipped to do so, find someone who does. I know this is going to be a bit long for what is essentially an episode review, but stay with me for just a moment longer. In the wake of shows like Steven Universe and Star vs. the Force of Evil and even She-Ra, there's this trend of people telling the creators to not listen to their fans and ignore criticism when they don't like it, which is just wrong. This is flat out dangerous and not how creative media works. Works of any platform, be they a book, TV show, a movie, a web series, it doesn't matter. You need to listen to your fans' feedback. Not the sycophants who tell you everything is fine and perfect and wonderful, but the ones that actively give you helpful ideas. If a large majority of your fan base is sick of the love diamond, the answer is not to bait them with cute moments while teasing them with the other characters, nor is it to bury your head in the sand. It is simply to get off your ass and take the criticism and run with it. Without your fans, you have nothing. Without the audience that is telling you how to improve, you never will. To those people who love the show as is and want to let the creator run unchecked, please stop it. I'm not saying start being wholly negative, but when people are used to getting majority praise, they become complacent to keep it going in perpetuity, and that is not a healthy mindset. And to the creators in the room, don't take every single nitpick to heart. There are a lot of baseless criticisms and vague statements that don't have backing that you can ignore. Like, I've been called conceited and arrogant for my tone, but I have this tone because I want you to hear me. It makes me speak clearer and have more confidence than my typical mumbling. And they don't give me a reason as to why they think that, so I have nothing to work with and I just ignore it. That's another thing. When you give criticism, use detail. Don't say just 2 or 3 things or 3 or 4 word sentences and then leave it there, because that's worse than saying nothing. We aren't mind readers. We need that extra bit of explanation to understand what needs to be changed and what is fine the way it is. Just think before you type is my point here. And for creators, don't just write things off. Make sure you understand what they're trying to get across and take that in stride. Don't pick fights with people on Twitter, essentially. Chat Blanc is a waste of an episode. The conflict only exists to be undone. No one besides Bunnix, who is from the future and not a key player in the current timeline, gets to remember what happened, and nothing comes of it again. Most episodes of the show function like this, where the conflict is resolved and everyone treats it like it's normal, but the difference is that that stuff actually happens, and the people of Paris have to live with it and become better for it. But here it's just go to the future, fix the mess you caused, jump back and erase time, say developed by Tetsuya Nomura, and we're done. And it's just boring. It's not worth a damn, and it's just the worst episode the show has come out with so far. Yes, even this one is better because it knows how stupid it is. The only good thing to come out of this episode is how much I wish Cat Noir's outfit was white, because he looks cool as hell. And that I wish that Marinette would get akumatized, because that would be a fun idea. Other than that, it is utterly skippable, and that is the biggest sin a TV show can commit. I can handle a messed up moral, to a point. I can handle bad acting, to a point. I can handle strange plots, to a point. But When you actively make the episode pointless to watch and frustrating to get through, that's when I draw the line. My name is Chris, and Bad Kitty, get off the Eiffel Tower and stop being angsty. The hell's wrong with you?